Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Gill, Epic Financial Strategies. We are here in Red Bank, New Jersey, the hallowed halls. And I always promise I'm going to bring in different guests that really excel in whatever they do. So we're always hunting human excellence. And today's special for me. I have a very good friend of mine, one of my partners from back in the day. Not only is there going to be brains, there's going to be beauty, there's going to be humility, there's going to be entrepreneurship at the highest level. So without any further ado, I got Alex Lynch with me. What's up, Alex?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It's so good to see you. Like I see you all the time, but in this is our first setting like this. And just imagine if you're my three kids, now we're 19, 17, and 14. This was their babysitter. Oh my, imagine having Alex as your babysitter. So that's how far back Alex and I go. I'm very good friends with her dad. And I'll let Alex speak about her dad. I'm not going to tell the story. But Alex is somebody that's been through the Epic system as far as a financial professional, very good at what she does, very smart in athletic sports, understands all different mindsets when it comes to athletes, male and female. And she's on her own journey as well, not only in her physical awareness and where she's going, but also on how to really talk to people in different settings, whether it's real estate, whether it's business ownership, or whether it's life insurance. So let me just kind of get from the beginning, Alex. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and those early dynamics that you came up in?
Sure. So I am from Monmouth County, New Jersey. Went to Holy Cross Elementary School and went to Red Bank Catholic school my whole life. I am the oldest of three. Yep. I have a brother, we're 14 months apart, and a sister who's 5 years younger than me.
You and your brother, Irish,
almost Irish,
Puerto Rican twins?
Well, I'm mostly Irish, and my mom is Sicilian and a very little bit Spanish, Puerto Rican.
Yes, and we love to play with that.
We do. But I had a really unique childhood.
Yeah.
I had a very unique childhood. I went to school and I played sports like everybody else, but I lived in the world of professional boxing on the weekends.
Now, not just like the hopes and dreams of professional boxing, but like somebody that is well known when you mention the person's name. And you're growing up 2, 3, 4, 5 up until whatever age. This was your family member for all intents and purposes. Your godfather.
Well, my sister's godfather.
Your sister's godfather.
My dad has managed professional fighters for over 45 years. He managed Arturo Gatti, who is a very prominent New Jersey fighter, two-time world champion,
global
international two-time world champion. To us, he was Uncle Arthur.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Arturo Thunder Gatti was until I got older in life, and people told me kind of like how important and special he was. To me, he was just Uncle Arthur. He was Uncle Arthur who came to my basketball games. He was at every sacrament I received. He was having Sunday dinner with us when my mom was cooking on Sundays. He lived with us at one point.
Did he?
Yeah, he lived with us at one point.
Yeah,
he lived earlier on his career when my dad had him training over at the Middletown Boxing Gym.
I didn't even know
to keep an eye on him.
Wow,
a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my dad.
What age? I want to play with this a little bit because Holy Cross Grammar School, my kids went there, is in Rumson, New Jersey. Rumson, if you look up the zip code, is very affluent here in New Jersey, maybe a top 10 as far as wealth. So every kid there, typically, not everyone, but has parents that have money, right, for all intents and purposes. Yeah. But there wasn't a lot of celebrity stardom, right?
No.
From that perspective. How was that for you? You competed financially, obviously, not that that was your dream, but being able to deal with that distinction that, hey, this is my uncle, and your mom and dad know, or your dad probably knows him. Did you get a lot of attention in that from that respect?
It wasn't until about like the 7th or 8th grade that people would say things like, oh, your dad's on TV and like Arturo Gatti. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? He's just Uncle Arthur. And like, isn't everyone's dad on TV? Like, I have to thank my parents a lot because they really normalized a childhood for my siblings and I. But we just happened to live in this crazy life outside of it, which was so much fun. But
what I love about your life, because you have a house that has a tennis court and a full court basketball, right, and a basement that maybe a small community could live in. But with that, you were brought up in the middle class, I'm going to say lower class mindset when it came to boxing.
Yes.
So you saw it all. You saw the streets. You saw the suites.
Yes.
Right? I remember your dad telling me a story one time that when you were 2, 3 years old, I think, there was I don't know who the babysitter was, no names, but he knew you were special. Well, everyone knows their kids are special, but he knew there was something about you because when your parents came, they were on date night.
Yeah.
And they came home and you gently walked the babysitter out and she never came back again.
I actually got her coat from the closet and I said, bye-bye.
I love that's one of the best.
It's true story. Ask my parents. True story. True story. But my dad was born in Hell's Kitchen, raised in Union City.
Yeah, Hudson County, New Jersey, folks. Go look it up. It's different.
My mom, her father was an immigrant from Italy. And my grandmother was actually a primary caretaker for my mom's brother, my uncle, who was severely autistic.
And that's an important thing in your life.
Yes, very important. So my parents came from nothing. Yep. Nothing. At one point, my dad actually lived on food stamps. My mom's dad, who was an immigrant, he didn't really know the American system or, anything like that. So what my parents taught me was a blue-collar work ethic.
And privacy. Very private.
Yes. Privacy is a luxury.
Very together family unit.
Yes.
It's
We're
pretty
very
amazing.
Close. We're very close. But you treat everyone with respect. You have integrity. Your reputation comes once in life. Once you damage it, it's damaged forever. Even with my dad's business, he never had social media until now. Yeah. He never had a website. He never really marketed himself. He valued his business based on his reputation.
Yes.
So if you have a good reputation in business is always going to come your way.
And your dad, prior to boxing and, dealing with athletes, he built a very strong business, handshake, one person at a time. And even to this day, when I call your dad for certain things I'll need, he's back to me this fast, and he provides and does and tees it up. And for anyone that's in the service, you want to make sure that your client's seen, heard, and you want to make sure they're fulfilled, right? So what he does that's so special, and Alex does this as well because she's learned from him and has seen a lot of different things in her life, you want to provide value to the client, and more value than the competition can, because they're going to keep coming back, especially if they tee it up and they make it easy for you to make that purchase.
When you're in sales and you're in service, it's a white glove treatment. So we treat our business like a VIP concierge service.
Yes.
We are the Black Amex.
The Black Amex.
Everybody else.
I love it. Amazing. The Black Amex, folks. Write that one down. That's a good one. We're going to steal that. So, you're growing up 7th, 8th grade. I think in high school is when Arturo started really winning it big, right? Started really excelling at that point? Or was it already done?
It was more middle school. He passed away when I was 16.
So you were in high school?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
It was devastating. It's something that's still very raw.
Yeah.
It still hurts my family to this day.
Wow.
We hope justice will be served eventually, and we believe that it will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
is there anything the folks could watch on TV pertaining to that?
Well, my dad and I just started a podcast.
Love it.
We started a podcast. It was a vision of mine that I've had for a really long time.
Yep.
I put together business plans and PowerPoints and everything. And I'm like, Dad, this could really, really work. Kind of like what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And he was more focused on a Hollywood movie.
Yep.
He had scripts built. He was working with directors and writers and whatnot. And then finally he agreed to the podcast. And I think that could excel us into potentially Hollywood.
No doubt about it.
Potentially a biography, a book.
No doubt about it. But there's legal complications that you still have to work through.
Yeah, of course. But my dad and I started the podcast because I wanted to not just emulate Arturo's life and his career.
Yep.
This was more about my dad.
Yes.
And where he came from and how he started. My dad is the ultimate American dream.
He is.
Who came from nothing and basically built this empire. My dad's in 2 Hall of Fames. He's in the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame and the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame.
Very important, very prestigious.
So I could not be a more proud daughter. I love my dad. That's my guy. He's like my right hand.
It's going to be hard to replace him.
And I have some big shoes to fill, working with him now. But
so talk a little bit about the day-to-day, the business. Now, listen, Alex spent, I think, 4 or 5 years with me, maybe even longer.
Probably 5 years.
So in the financial planning services, still has a license. I'll let her tell you what she does. But talk about the business with your dad.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they understand what it is yet.
Yeah, so actually prior to my dad managing professional fighters, he owns a sports and entertainment ticket agency, promotional sales company. So we sell tickets for all different types of sporting events, concerts, Broadway, internationally, nationally, basically any event you could think of, we sell tickets to.
Yes. So it's hard to go get Super Bowl tickets and then sell them, right?
Yes.
Like that's it's hard to.
Well, now,
how does that work?
When you have everything that's mobile, you get hackers, you get scammers. You don't really know if you're buying the right tickets. I can't tell you how many people call us in an SOS situation. It did happen.
When that lady bought for my daughter.
Yes.
She bought those tickets for.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Yes.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. There was a huge hack system with Ticketmaster this year. It was crazy, but more sad for the customer than the buyer.
Yes.
So that's kind of what we do, and that's how it got into boxing and working in events and all that stuff. And that's why we consider ourselves more of like a luxury concierge service. So instead of you going to Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, Vivid, kind of just call us.
Yeah.
So we're like a 24/7.
Yeah.
You know.
And by the way, it's a shop that's so systematized that you can text or call, whatever the case may be. But talk about like the time commitment. You know, you could be out on a Friday night. Somebody needs tickets. Like, how does that work with you and your dad?
I don't work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I work 25/8 if it exists. So in that sense, it's that when you're in business, you especially sales and customer service, you have to treat it like a white glove treatment. I want our customers to continue to come back to us and have nothing but good things to say about us, and referrals are a big part of the business as well. So if I have to answer the phone at midnight on a Friday night, or 5 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, I'm going to answer the phone.
And you guys have a lot of repeat customers too, right? Like
my gosh.
And the referrals come from that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're very thankful and we're very grateful.
Yeah. And what does the future look like for that?
We'll see. I mean, technology is changing. It's evolving. We don't know where it's leading or what's going to happen. But for now, we're enjoying it.
Awesome. So tell us about Alex, business-wise, outside of boxing and the sports agency stuff.
Oh my goodness. So I went to Marist College, which I think they just changed to Marist University. I didn't play any sports in college. I played 3 sports in high school. I think growing up around professional boxing, you see performance at a very elite high level.
Yes.
And when you work with professional or see professional athletes like that, that's the only way you know how to perform. Whether it's physical fitness or sports throughout your life, or it's in business. It's just full throttle, all gas, no brakes. And that's it. And competition wise, you always want to win. You always want to succeed. So for me, fitness has always just been a number one thing in my life. You know that about me. It's like it's health is wealth. As cliche as it sounds, your health comes first. You have to take care of yourself. You have to, when I walk into a room and I see someone that's physically fit in a business meeting, I want to work with that person.
Say that again. That's that right there, folks. And listen, if she didn't know me and she walked in the room and saw me, she certainly wouldn't want to work with me. But that's an important thing to understand, the dynamic of how people pass to themselves. Now, when Alex talks a little bit more, you're going to find out if she gets to know that person and they're not integrous. That would be a different conversation. But at first glance, that's one of her measurements, right? Like,
absolutely.
You want to be able to.
Because at that point, you could tell they're disciplined. They're good with routine. They have priorities. They're responsible. So I'm like, okay, I want to work with that person. So health, fitness, everything. So after college, I actually worked for Robin Roberts, who was on Good Morning America.
I forgot about that.
Robin Roberts was the first Black female correspondent for ESPN. For people that don't know, she's actually on Good Morning America now, I believe, still, with Michael Strahan. She started a production company where she produced documentaries that would air on ABC and ESPN.
And that work was you were working for free, right? Basically,
I was just an intern. I graduated college and I still wasn't getting paid, but the experience alone was unbelievable. I worked on 2 documentaries, both of which have received multiple awards that I have awards for at home just to be working on the project.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you have contact with her? Can you call her and get in touch with her?
Her partner is a close family friend that I see often.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of got the position.
Got it.
But as much as I love sports, I didn't love production.
Why?
It was hard. It was very long hours, very little pay, no pay at the time. But I knew that wasn't where my heart was.
Yes.
And then when I came home, and then you gave me an opportunity, and the reason why finance was something I never wanted to do, or just business alone. I just wanted to be in sports. But for you, I have to thank you because you showed me a side of business that is so cookie cutter, but you could make it unique and different.
Yes.
Especially in, the sales business and the customer service business. If there's 100 people doing the same thing, how could you be that one person that stands out?
Great point.
So it was great. I loved working here.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing experience. So many wonderful people that I met.
Yes.
And then I knew that sports was still my first love.
Yeah.
And then, COVID hit, actually.
So you went from Jersey to Florida.
I went to Jersey to Florida to spend time with my family. And at that point, my dad and I kind of agreed that it was time for me to go work with him, and I've been with him ever since.
Now, any other hobbies you're doing? License? Anything else going on?
I got my real estate license. Yes, because my dad, we're not 9 to 5. We're events based. So I can kind of work at any time, anywhere. We shut down our office.
Which is pretty cool.
We're remote, which is great. Yeah, we travel a lot for all the big boxing fights. We're in Vegas probably 3 or 4 times a year for all the big championship fights, which is awesome. But then I got my real estate license because of you. Because all the clients that we worked with here, especially the wealthiest ones,
become your own bank.
Owned and invested in real estate. So I said,
Facts.
There's a common denominator here.
Yeah.
So when I saw that in my early 20s, I said, okay, but by the time I'm 30, I need to invest or get into real estate. And I did. So I invested in my first property about 3 years ago. Flipped it. And then I got my real estate license in the state of New Jersey. I figured, why not? I know so many people from the area. I live where I grew up, so it's hard to run into somebody you don't know. And real estate's been great. Difficult to do part-time. Okay. But from a referral basis, it's wonderful.
Now, can you, and I don't know this, can you sell real estate outside of Jersey, or do
you can
do stuff down in Florida?
I could refer somebody to an agent in Florida and get paid on it, but if I really wanted to do business, I'd probably have to get my license. It's not like insurance where you can just pay in the state. I'd have to take another test again.
Got it. So everything would be in Jersey for you primarily?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And are you dedicating a lot of time to that? Like, what is your, if I look at, and we'll get into training, right? But if I look at what your training allocation is, and what is the rest of, obviously the sports company,
right?
Is there time left over for real estate, or you just do it if somebody calls?
There is. There is. Every day is different. No day is the same. But I think truly you make time for the things you want to make time for. If I have to stay up all night because I have to work, I have to stay up all night because I have to work.
That's it.
That's it.
That's just the way it is.
It's the hustle.
Non-stop. Talk a little bit about your mom.
Yeah.
Does she still believe in UFOs?
Of course.
I do too.
Of course. My mom's wonderful.
She's the best.
I compare my parents to, my mom's like a chihuahua. She is just like, yes. She's also 5'2", a spitball of fire. She is walks into the room and just light up the room.
No one's confused.
She is the epitome of fun.
Yes.
She is just fun, and everybody loves her. She can make you laugh and have a great time. And my dad is like the German Shepherd. He is like a man of few words, but when he speaks, you listen. Yes. He has a very domineering, presence. But my parents are the best. I love my mom to death. I love my dad to death. They're we're the three musketeers.
And how about your brother and sister?
And my brother is such an amazing person. He actually works for the New York Giants.
So listen, parents that are my age, listen to all three kids when you hear where they're at. And listen, parenting is hard. I'm a parent. I got 3 kids, and it's not an easy thing. And, for me, I've been fortunate enough to see them from a little bit of a distance, and I have a good relationship with Alex and her dad. But just watch where the kids are now today.
Yeah. As wonderful as the life that we had and still have, and that blue-collar work ethic that my parents instilled, they were still very hard on us. We worked. We say Mr. and Mrs. We say please and thank you. You have manners. You be respectful. But at the same time, it was like, in sports too. Like, no crying. Get up. Come on, let's go. Like it was very like a little forceful in the sense, but they were there. When you knew you disappointed them, that's when it really hurt. They really got mad, but when you disappointed them, it was like, oh, jeez, But I work. So
your brother's with the Giants.
My brother's with my whole family.
Is he with the Giants still?
Yeah. My brother's been there for 13 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, he started as a ball boy.
I remember
during rookie camp. He was like 17 or 18, I believe, working in the summers. And then he was Eli Manning's personal assistant one year. He kind of worked his way up into the organization, and his official title right now is the assistant director of football operations. Wow! So he's pretty much next in line to kind of run his department.
Amazing.
He knows,
and he will run it.
He knows the organization inside and out. My brother can rattle off every statistic off of every player of every team that you could think of. He is like the ultimate sports guy.
Amazing.
He is living my dad's dream as well.
Yes.
We're diehard Giants fans. And then my sister, she worked at Merrill Lynch.
So if we look at the dynamic.
Sure.
The 3 kids, you're the oldest, he's the middle. Let's talk about your sister.
My sister was a D1 athlete at Elon University. She played lacrosse. She was captain of the team.
And everyone knows it.
Yeah. My sister was phenomenal. Very good basketball player as well. She's great. She's just like my mom in the sense that they're just fun.
Except she's not 5'2".
No, she's not 5'2". She's not 5'2".
How tall is she? I forget.
We're like the same height.
Are you?
5'5".
Okay, all right.
Yeah, my sister's beautiful, blonde, blue-eyed. My brother's a redhead. So if you saw the 3 of us together, you'd be like,
crazy.
What is going on?
Yes.
Yeah. My sister played lacrosse at Elon. She actually just moved out to Seattle this past year to be with her boyfriend, who plays in the MLB.
He doesn't play. He's well known.
Yep, he's a very very
we don't have to say it, but he's
it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He pitches for the Seattle Mariners. His name is George Kirby.
Yep.
He's such a nice guy. You know, him and my sister are great together.
Are they married or are they getting married?
Nope. They're just boyfriend
They're just
and girlfriend
figuring it
right
out.
now.
Yep.
I hope that they'll be family one day soon.
Yeah.
So we'll see on their terms.
Yep. So she lives in Seattle.
She moved to Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah, she moved to Seattle.
Does she like that there?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah, she does.
Is he an East Coast guy? I don't know anything.
Yeah, he's from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's
All right.
I believe Rye, New York. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you know who's from Rye, the Guardian guy that used to come in here, Nick.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, not to forget about my mom. My mom's a phenomenal tennis player. My mom
Does she still play?
Played USTA for years. She broke her arm last year, but she's looking to play again, hopefully soon.
She dominated all the Rumsfeld ladies, I'm assuming?
She's really good.
Yeah.
She can't. I played for my high school team, and she still beats me every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does your next 5 years look like? If you could think about it.
Sure.
And let's step into well, first of all, you have something coming up in the next.
I do.
Let's talk about that. Hold on. I'm
April
sorry about
5th.
that. April 5th.
April 5th. I am officially training for a bodybuilding show in the bikini division.
Now where?
It's in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Okay.
So it's my first show. I have to do a regional show.
Yep.
And then if I get first or second place, that qualifies me for nationals.
Okay.
If I get first place at nationals, I could get my pro card.
And how could people follow you right now if they want to check you out on social media?
Yeah. They can follow me on Instagram or TikTok. It's just my name, Alexandra Lynch, but with 2 L's.
Yeah. So this is you're looking obviously win, but continue to stay in the space.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you know me, when it comes to fitness, after college, I really missed competing. I missed being an athlete.
Yeah.
Working out day to day is fine and breaking a sweat, but I wanted to be an athlete again and compete.
Yeah.
And win. So I gotten really heavy into CrossFit. All right, did it, done, let's move on.
Yeah.
Went into like spin and Pilates and bar, and I was like, but I actually want to train in races and competitions.
Yeah.
I joined a gym down here in Red Bank.
Yeah. You want to give it a shout out?
Sure.
Yeah.
It was Alpha Fit Club.
Yep.
At the time, it was just workout classes. I met the most wonderful people, friends for life.
Where is that?
It's over by where Chipotle is and 7-Eleven
What town?
on the corner, Red Bank.
Oh, it is in Red Bank.
Yeah, it's
okay.
right here.
All right.
I met these awesome people who were all training for High Rocks, and then we joined the Garage Gym, which is in Little Silver.
I heard about that place.
Awesome.
They don't
spot.
invite me there, but I heard about it.
My good friends own it, and everybody was competing in this competition called High Rocks.
Okay.
It's kind of like a combination between a CrossFit event and like a mini half marathon,
Okay.
triathlon a little bit. And I said, this was awesome. I'm going to go for the marathon.
Did
I'm
you
do
do
the
it?
New York City Marathon. I did.
You just did it?
I ran the New York City Marathon 2023.
Okay.
2023.
And what was your time?
It was 4:30.
Wow.
I wanted under 4. But I totally underestimated the race. I mean, it was definitely one of the hardest things.
What's going on in your mind, mile 15?
It was mile 16. My body started breaking down.
Did it really?
I massively underfueled. I should have ate more. I should have recovered a little bit better. But for my first time, I was happy with where I was at. But I said to myself, I I don't care if I break a leg, I tear a ligament, I pass out. I am finishing this race, and I'm not walking. I'm running.
Yeah.
So if I had to run a 10-minute mile, I was running a 10-minute mile.
Wow.
I did stop and hugged my parents, which I cried when I saw them because it was so
What
emotional.
mile was that?
It was mile 16.
Okay.
It was right when I started to hurt.
Got it.
And
so did they give you the juice to go?
They gave me the juice.
All right.
They gave me the juice.
I love it.
Yeah, they gave me the juice, and it was like some quick tears, and then I kept going.
Yeah.
And then I saw my friends who were leaping over the guardrails, screaming my name, mind you. And that was the perfect adrenaline I needed. And I finished the race.
Wow.
So then after the marathon, I actually started fighting. I started boxing.
I saw you talk about it.
I mean, listen.
Who's training you?
I grew up Mikey Red.
No.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Are you still training? Like,
So
are
I
you still
can't-
doing the workouts?
I can't
Or
right now.
just because of the competition?
Yes,
Okay.
I can right now. But I mean, when I kid you, like a week or two after the marathon, I was like, what's next?
Yeah.
That's my mind.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always like, what's next? I
Yeah.
never say, I'm not going to say I did a marathon and then talk about it for 6 months to a year.
Who did Mikey train? Just so they know.
Mikey Red?
Yeah.
Arturo Gotti.
That's right. Go ahead.
He was in our corner for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
And then I said to my dad, I said, listen, he's like, well, you're not sparring. It was a touchy subject in the house.
Would you do it now, though?
spar?
Yeah, if you could.
I would want to try it once.
Yeah.
I just want to try it once because
Just Pat, set her up with a lollipop. Just let her go. Let her do it. There's no need.
There's a
it's got the
poster of my
headgear.
face on the gym that says "Do not touch."
Where was the training?
I go up to Hoboken.
Okay,
once or twice a week. It's just family and friends. They open up the gym before the gym even opens.
Got it.
And I was getting up at 4 a.m. and going up there, and then it was great. Loved it.
I want to get back to that, but talk about how that creates fulfillment for you, because you always want to help people.
Yeah.
You don't want to do for people, but you want to help people, including what's in your heart. How did that feel, getting up at 4 o'clock every day and just going to do that? And what is that like when you're living a social life? Like, how does that kind of interact?
I didn't want to do anything else.
Yep.
I wanted that.
Yeah.
I'm somebody that when I want something, I just go after it. I'm never going to let anyone or anything get in my way of, one, succeeding, or two, doing things that make me happy.
Yeah.
That's just what I wanted to do. And at the time when I put my mind to something, that's it. That I got to do it.
So what do like guys say when they're trying to get with you? Like, can they even handle that? Like,
I don't know. I mean, you know me.
There's got to be a special person that's going to be able to be that person. That can just,
so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because I hope I make somebody really happy today.
Yeah. I'm sure you will, but they got to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
And accept certain things.
Yeah, of course. But with
So now you got the competition coming.
The bodybuilding is something I always wanted to
If
try.
that works out, you're gonna keep doing that, right?
We'll see.
Is that, or you're just gonna do it?
I'm testing the waters.
Okay.
I'm testing the waters. So I started training last December, kind of in this type of program.
A year ago.
But I was also in 6 weddings, so I was traveling, and it was hard to diet at the same time. But this past summer, we went into a heavy cut, lost about like 13 pounds.
Yeah.
September, early summer, I texted my coach. I'm like, I'm doing a show. I wanted to do
who's your coach? Somebody different?
My coach, Alyssa.
Okay.
She's based here in Jersey.
Okay, shout out to Alyssa.
Yeah, she's amazing. We've actually become good friends. I'm soon to be a bridesmaid in her wedding.
Awesome.
She gets married at the end of the year. And I texted her, and she was like, I knew it was a matter of time with you. I knew it was a matter of time. I said, listen, I just got to do it once in my life just to say I did it. But the thing was, the more people told me not to do it, the more I wanted to do it. So I kept saying, why? Why is this so hard?
Yeah.
I think I underestimate a lot of things, but I challenge myself so much that I just always want to get out of my comfort zone.
Oh, that's a gift, guys, gals. Because if you're out of your comfort, in business I can relate to that. Not physically, but in business I can definitely relate to that. Whenever I get out of my comfort zone, sometimes I'm forced to, and that's really good when that happens, when I look back. But sometimes I embrace it, and getting out of your comfort zone is one of the greatest gifts you could have, because what happens is your brain, the wiring, is going to open up to something that you can't control. You can't anticipate anything. And for me, it's a God thing, just accepting what's in front of you. And once that happens, a lot of good things start to formulate, and I start connecting the dots.
Yeah, I always say get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You'll never succeed in life if you're just going to do the same thing all the time, being complacent.
Yep.
Where
did that come from? For you, you've had everything in life. Like, where did that come from? That's a beautiful.
I don't know.
It's amazing.
Honestly, I always wanted to be different. I never wanted to do everything. If everybody was going this way, I wanted to go the other way.
Yeah, but not for attention though.
No, never.
Which is amazing about Alex, because it's not, because I know people that do it for attention.
Yeah.
You deliver on the action.
Yeah.
And the discipline, like, and maybe it's the athletes you're around. Maybe you recognize something at such an early age in life.
Maybe
what it took to go somewhere. Maybe your dad's influenced your mom, obviously. If you were a coach, right, or if you're able to impact folks, right, and you had your own 2 or 3 day retreat, whether it was men and women, but you ran the whole thing, and you created something like that, what would that look like for the people that you're going to inspire and be an example of what's possible? How would you talk to those folks and inspire them to be able to do what you did? Because at the end of the day, you're just an average person that does extraordinary things every day.
Yeah.
Right? Just like every great person is average.
Yeah.
Except they'll do an extraordinary thing.
Right.
What is that? Where does that come from? And what would you say to them?
I think if I had a retreat, let's say we just went with 15 people.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days.
And they paid to be there.
Yep.
They're listening. They got their pen and pad, and
Yeah.
you're creating a program for 3 days.
Well, I would individually work with them first.
Yep.
As much as I would want to talk to a group, I want to get to know you.
Yep.
And that's what we did with creative financial planning.
Yes.
In this industry.
Yes.
It's like everybody's going to sell you a product, but what if that product doesn't work for person A, person B, and person C?
Yes.
You really got to get to know the person and figure out how could I help you in your particular needs and what you want in life.
Boop.
So if I had my retreat, I would individually work with everybody and say, well, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And what makes you happy?
Yes.
And basically go from there.
And then create a plan accordingly.
Of course.
And now in the group setting, right? Like, and because I think when I watch your social media,
Yeah.
you know, you're wearing certain products, right?
Sure.
There's certain things that you're putting out there,
Yeah.
and you're giving other folks beautiful shout outs that I saw. And that's great. And I'm just saying to myself, like, what if the world knew Alex in a way that they don't know her right now? So if somebody just saw a picture of your face, beautiful person, right?
Thank you.
But when they hear this is not just a beautiful person. This is a person that wants to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
This is a person that seeks fulfillment and seeks what's the next thing. Right?
It was funny when I got to college. Everybody's like, "Well, what are you majoring in? What do you want to do in life? How do you tell an 18-year-old what do you want? What do they want to do in life?"
I didn't know what I was doing until I was 26.
And it's when I'm a very spiritual person. I love going to church. I pray every day. I was raised that way.
Yes.
My parents are very religious. You start talking to God a little bit more, and you start realizing, well, what is my purpose in life? And I truly believe that I was meant to be here to help people.
Yeah.
In whatever way
There's no doubt about that.
In whatever way it is. And even now with my bodybuilding programming, I started posting on TikTok a little bit more just to have some memories for myself for this process.
Sure.
But I said to myself, if I could touch people, but if I could make somebody's life change, just one person, then that's it for me. I'd be so happy.
Yeah.
So just to help people in anything, and then that comes a lot from my volunteering and the nonprofit that I work with.
Can we talk about that?
Sure. So my mom's brother, who was severely autistic, he had a learning disability, so he had special needs.
How much? What was the age between him and your mom? Like, what was it? Were they close? Like 5 years, 10 years?
No, maybe like 4 years.
Okay,
four
got
or
it.
five.
Was
4
she
or 5
younger
years.
or older than him?
My mom was younger.
Because I was her bigger brother. Got it.
Yeah. He was the firstborn. And he lived till he was 52. He lived a wonderful life, my Uncle Johnny, but he couldn't live on his own. He couldn't really function on his own. So my grandmother was his primary caretaker. So I grew up pretty much directly and indirectly with somebody who had a disability.
While at the same time, somebody was a world-class boxer. Think
Yeah.
about that.
Yes. And he was an amazing person. And I think even though I'm only 31, back then, it wasn't really normalized to cater to people with special needs or help them a little bit more because they needed it.
Yes.
I mean, my grandmother said when he was born, her mother, my great-grandmother said, "Oh, you just institutionalize him." No,
that was the rules.
That's what they knew back in the 50s,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
So for me, working with him and understanding him, you have this connection to people who are like that. So it'll be a lifelong mission of mine to help people with special needs.
What is that connection? And what is it that you understand that maybe I wouldn't or somebody else watching this?
It's understanding them in a certain way.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's nonverbal, you would maybe understand their body language a little bit more because I was around it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh no, he's trying to say this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or he's trying to do this way.
Got it.
So
Would he light up when he saw you?
Yeah.
Like, was it like, were you able to, because I don't know anything about it.
I was pretty young when he passed as well, but from the memories that I do remember, I mean, I remember him, but he was great.
Yeah.
He was great. Funny, diehard Yankees fan.
Really?
Oh my goodness. My dad took him to a Yankees game one time.
Yeah.
He met Derek Jeter and it was like the highlight of his life. So in the 7th grade, I started volunteering with a nonprofit organization called Rally Cap Sports.
Yeah.
They've been around 30 plus years now, and it's a program that's catered to people with special needs, and we teach them how to play sports.
Wow.
So it's 1 hour a week. Every 6 weeks, the sports change. We do everything from flag football to soccer. We're in our basketball program right now.
Where is it? Where do you meet?
So basketball just started. We have 2 1-hour sessions. Thompson Middle School in Middletown.
Got it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So I started volunteering with them in the 7th grade.
Yep.
Did it through high school. Went away to college and came back home. And I thought, wow, I'd really love to work with them again.
Yeah.
I started volunteering with them again, and now I'm on the board. So now I oversee all of our national chapters.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. It's
awesome.
It's a very, very big part of my heart and something that I will do for the rest of my life.
And you get fulfillment out of that.
Of course.
So as we wrap this up,
Sure.
right? First of all, if there's anything I missed, please riff. But more importantly, where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? Like,
That's
what
such
does
a
this look like?
Because you know what?
Even the next 2 years.
As much as I love to plan for the future, I really try to live in the moment as well.
Can you do that? Can you live for the moment even if you have a goal 3 years from now?
Yeah, I think so. But I think for the next 2 or 3 years, I would love to start a family of my own.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to start a family of my own. I would love to see where business takes me. I would love to see where my fitness competitions take me.
Yep.
And we'll see.
So you just take it like, you're going to show up every day, be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And then these the competition stuff I'm specifically referring to right now. And then you don't know what that looks like until after that event. Like
listen, I could focus on a competition in July or August, but my sole focus is April.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see where it takes me and then go from there
Do you write down goals?
Yes.
And do you have rituals with those goals? Like if somebody, is there stuff on your mirror? Like what is?
No, not really, but I definitely write down intentions, manifestations. I'm a big person.
Talk about it.
I love manifesting.
Yep.
It's just maybe journaling, writing a little bit more. I do.
I gotta get back to that. Thank you.
Yeah, I do.
A good reminder.
I think when you put it down from your mind, it's more intentional in that space. You know what? You try to be a good person. Yeah. Good things happen to good people.
Now, your podcast, can people see it?
Absolutely. It's called the Pat Lynch Boxing Podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. We took a little bit of break for the holidays, but we're actually coming back this week. We do an episode every Thursday.
How many have you had so far?
6.
Wow.
We're about to do
it's brand
the
new.
7th one. Yeah. We highlighted my dad's life growing up, and now we're kind of in, the beginning stages of Arturo's career. And it's going to get really interesting.
Yeah. And is there sponsors coming through yet?
I hope so.
Have you worked that part?
Not yet, but I definitely plan to.
It's a matter of time.
To sell merch eventually. We're going to do some t-shirts soon.
Really?
Yeah. So we're really excited. My dad is loving it. For somebody who didn't want to do it at first, he's obsessed with it.
Is he really? Is he coming up with good ideas now?
Yeah, he writes down notes before episodes to talk about it. And the thing I wanted to do with that is that I knew that anyone can interview him about his life and Arturo's career. But for me being his daughter, I felt like it would be a really cool experience for me to interview my dad.
Of course.
Like I wanted the podcast to feel like you came into our home and you were sitting at our kitchen table and my dad was telling old war stories. Yeah. And that's exactly what we're doing. We film at our kitchen table.
Do you really?
Yeah, I swear. I film, I edit, I cut, I produce
do it all?
The whole thing. I have a little microphone and I film on my iPhone.
You do the whole thing?
I do everything myself.
Wow.
I do everything
Look at the
myself.
innovation.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to watch that. And I definitely want your dad to come here and I'd love to spend some time with him behind this camera. Well, anyway, listen, anyone to follow you once again, how could they get in touch? And do you see yourself being a mentor someday, being a life coach? Do you see yourself helping people?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And by the way, just so you know, and you're going to like this, we are thinking about opening up a fractional family office that has within it, I'm not going to say it's financial coaching, but one of the things is, we're going to start sitting down and looking at the diet of people's finances and being able to, we're not offering recommendations. We're taking a look at what they're doing and then strategize. Is this what you wanted? Because this is taxable. This is tax free, the whole thing. So we're starting to create that. And you have so much knowledge, not only physically, but spiritually, but also in the game of finance. And when I say the word coach, because everyone's a coach, I'm talking more about being impactful and fulfilling.
I would love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
We should talk about it.
Awesome.
For sure.
Awesome.
Really.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Very tremendous.
Good
luck with
how much I love you and your family.
And we love you back times 10. Thank you. I appreciate it. And looking forward to your competition. Maybe we can get you back on afterwards and see what happens. And once again, check out Alex Lynch on all her social platforms. Alexandra Lynch with a double L, as well as the boxing podcast, Pat Lynch Boxing?
Pat Lynch Boxing.
Pat Lynch Boxing. And great stories there, folks. Don't miss it. Check it out and get involved. Anyway, thank you so much, Alex. Looking forward to what the future brings. And all you folks that are out there listening, remember, it's how you show up, what questions you ask yourself. What are you doing? Whoever you're working with and whatever your job is, what are you doing to make that organization better, not them make you better? If you can start thinking like that, that's not my job and pass it to somebody else. No, do more. Don't just do your job, do more. And if you do more, you'll get more. Anyway, thanks for checking us out.